Hello, and welcome to Tuesday Tech Tips with Mr. Panic. Today I'm going to show you how to insert animations into your Google Slide presentation. Warning! Too much animation in a slideshow can make your presentation cheesy. Actually, all kidding aside, a small amount of animation can raise interest and capture your audience's attention. However, too much animation is really distracting and can also take up valuable presentation time. So, I already have a Google Slide open and ready to work on here. Before we begin, I should get the motion task pane to appear on the screen. All transitions and animations are controlled from this task pane, so it's a good idea to make it appear early if you're adding animations to your Google Slide. There are 3 different ways to do this. Number 1, just click on Transition right here at the top of your screen. That will be there if nothing is selected. So if I click on that, the motion task pane appears. Option number 2, go to Slide from the menu bar and also click on Transition. That also brings up the motion task pane. The third option is to click on an object on your slide, then go to Insert, and then go to Animation. That also brings up the Transition task pane. We'll choose the first option, Transition, as it's pretty easy to get to. Now this leads to a question. What's the difference between a transition and an animation? A transition is how you move from slide to slide. So there are 8 different options of different transitions for us. None, dissolve, fade, slide from right, slide from left, flip, cube, and gallery. Now, as you're advancing from slide to slide during your presentation, the transition will remove the slide you were on from view and the next slide will appear. Depending on what you choose, this can waste valuable time and take attention away from what you're trying to talk about. However, it can also be a fun option to play around with if you're showing a lot of different pictures to your audience. In this case, we'll choose Cube just for something fun, and we'll choose Apply to All Slides, and we'll see what happens. So now, in order to preview it, we're going to take our mouse and go up to Present, which takes us into presentation mode. And we're going to go ahead and click our mouse, and we can see what Cube looks like. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and press Escape to get out of presentation mode and go back to our first slide. So what is an animation? Animations are when you cause an object or text to move, appear, or disappear from your slide. In Google Slides, there are 15 different options for you to choose from, but again, this can distract from the presentation. So remember, a little goes a long way. The different animations can be categorized into 3 basic effects. Entrance, how an object or text appears on the slide. Exit, how an object or text disappears on the slide. Or emphasis, the object doesn't enter or exit, but moves around on the slide to draw attention to something. When animating text, you have the option to animate the text all at once or by each paragraph. Remember though, Google Slides considers every time you press enter in a text box to be a new paragraph. To add animation to the text, you will first need to click on the text box you want to animate on the slide. So I'm going to go to my second slide, click on my text box here. Here I have the names of the 7 dwarves from the story Snow White. If I click on the Add Animation button on the right-hand side, I'll be able to cause the text to appear, disappear, or move around on the screen. By default, it comes up as Fade In. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Fly In from right. Now, in order to preview this, I'm going to click on Play down at the bottom of my screen. So now I'm going to see the cube effect. I'm going to click on the slide, and we can see that the whole thing comes in onto our screen all at once. I'm going to click Stop to stop the preview. And now I want to see the difference between that and by paragraph. I'm going to place a check mark here where it says by paragraph. And now I'm going to hit play again to see the difference. So again, I'm seeing the cube option, and now I'm clicking on the slide, and we can see that the text comes in one line at a time, and this is because I pressed enter after each one of the names. To animate an object, you'll first need to select the object that you want to animate. An object in Google Slides could be a picture or a drawing you've inserted onto your slide. Now, once you have the object selected, you basically go through the same process as you did before with text. However, you don't want to necessarily choose the by paragraph option. So let me go to a slide that I have some objects on. So in this animation, I'm going to go ahead and click on the G, which stands for Grumpy. I'm going to make that circle disappear. So I'm going to click on Add Animation. And again, by default, it chooses Fade In. So I'm going to change that from Fade In. And I'm going to choose it or change it to Fly Out to the bottom. I'm going to click on Play to see what happens. So I'm going to go to that slide. I'm going to click. And sure enough, it moves out to the bottom. Exactly what I was wanting. Great. So I'm going to click Stop. Now, I can also add an animation for the arrow in the center here to spin. So I'm going to click on my arrow. You always have to click on the object first, then click Add Animation. And then I'm going to choose the effect of spin. So now, when I click play, I can see that Grumpy disappears, and then when I click again, the arrow will spin around. Perfect. So I'm going to click Stop. Now, to see the different details of the animation, you would click on the arrows here next to the animation itself, and that provides you with what details or what information, the specifics about each of the animations that you have. Now, to rearrange the animation, the first thing that you want to do is collapse your animation information, and then you can move your mouse over to the 6 dots. That allows you to change your mouse cursor to 4 arrows, which then allows you to rearrange your animations in whatever order you'd like. In this case, I would like the spin to happen first, then Grumpy to fly out. So I'm going to click play to see how that looks. And sure enough, now that I've rearranged it, the arrow spins, and then Grumpy disappears. Cool. Now, if you want to delete an animation, the first thing you need to do is you need to expand the animation details by clicking on the arrow, and then choose the little trash can option on the right side of the animation. Now, remember, in order to preview your animations, you have to click on the play button and then click on the slide, or you could always go up to Present in the upper right-hand corner of your screen to view the presentation. Hopefully you enjoyed this brief tutorial on using animations in Google Slides. Thanks for watching, and if you have any requests for future tech tips, please leave them in the comment section below.